I said I was going to end my workday, but I just realized I had my webcam on during that whole last little look at everything I gave, which is unfortunate. So I'm going to do it again because I want to make that a highlight clip. So right now we're going to take you on a tour of everything that happened today. So starting out the day, I had to create the interior of the library. In the game, you only see the exterior of the buildings. When you go into them, you actually go into a separate model that's the interior. And what's of note is the reuse of textures. There are only 4 textures used in all the village buildings. There's this wall texture, which is pretty obviously used everywhere. But these wood beams, the window frames, the bookshelf casings, all of those, the UV map has actually just been positioned to use the wood beam textures in the wall. So everything you see that's wood is ultimately that wall texture. Next up, the windmill. I created this little cloth patchwork texture that I use for a lot of things. One of those is the books. The bindings on the books are all from the windmill cloth texture. Of course, the floor is reused as the ceiling. And here's one. Let me get to this angle so you can really see what's going on here. Let me also turn the webcam off because that was the issue I had the last time. So in case you didn't see that, the windmill texture is reused as the book binding texture. And then the wood in all of this is from the wood texture in the walls. Now the pages to the books, that is all the window texture. So all of my buildings use 4 textures, and that's very important when you get into games made for low-end devices and mobile gaming. The less textures you use, the better. The more single objects you have, the better. Poly counts don't matter quite as much as they used to for objects that don't animate. So it's good when you can have, you know, a lot of objects that use the same material just also be the same object. So that's the interior of the library. That all happened before lunch. Let's jump to the next thing that went on today. The Overworld for Zone 1. It's not done yet. It's not done yet, but the Overworld in this game is it's disproportionately sized. We were very much inspired by the Chrono Cross and Chrono Trigger series in terms of how the player perceives and interacts with the world. So all these hard scenes are going to be masked. There's going to be cartoony proportioned trees and buildings representing towns, and that will all be here. There'll be foliage with transparencies that overhang the hard edges. And of course, once it's in the game engine and we apply the ambient occlusion and the baked lighting and shadows, that'll all be just fine. So that is what I've been doing since lunch. Now let's see how that all looks in game. Alright, here we are. This is the scene file. Again, the water's not set up. My ocean that I'm working on is still set to use my properties of a river texture so it flows too fast. Things like that. But let me go ahead and hit, well actually first let me show you what I was working with earlier. Let me turn the renderer back on. That used to be my overworld. Since before December, when I started working on this, and I haven't been working on it all since December. I paused around January, and now I'm back to it because of some important deadlines. Yeah, it was just a scribble. So it's been very nice to get an actual overworld started. So let me hit play. Let me resize this window bigger and hit play. Alright, so it started me off in the river. This section that I'm in right here, in the actual game, you won't be able to access it because that is one of the zones. You'll have to enter the zone and then come out the other side. So let's go over to the town. Imagine there's a cartoony model of a town right here. There will be. And let's enter the town. Alright. You'll also notice these blocks that spawn in front of me. That's my waypoint system that I've been working on, and I'm just rendering them for debugging. You won't actually see them in-game. The camera angle changes based on where you are in the town for the best view. These white boxes are my collision geometry. Nothing really has collision except for the floor, and I just have them rendering so I can do some testing. But you'll notice if I click to where I want to move, it will navigate around these items. So, yeah, I have click to navigate working pretty well. So let's go into that library. There's the library, and we're entering it, and now we're in it. I need to still mess with scaling and some camera angles. They're not ideal yet. Here's the librarian, or the wordsmith. My little icon system, basically, if you come into proximity of something that's interactable, an eye icon appears, you click it, and then you have tiles for your options. You can view information about it, or take the action, which in this case is to speak. Again, the camera angle, I know that needs adjustment. I'll be taking care of that. So you can read the quest, take them or not take them. Let's take them. Let's take both of them. And down here, I'm printing out information associated with the player, so we can see that it has accepted the quests, and we can see the items in inventory. So let's close it. Let's exit out of the library. And we'll... there we go. So my camera zones, they just missed the cue. There we go. I haven't... my camera zones are set up based on kind of some collision areas, and I haven't set them all up yet. Again, this is prototyping a demo. So let's take the action to leave the town, and then we can go over here where we can take the action to enter the zone. And I have an enemy in here. The enemy is represented by a cube because their artwork isn't done. The way the enemies work is when they see you, they'll seek you out. And when they get into a certain proximity of you, they will spawn a battle instance, which is an arena turn-based battle system. So there, the enemy found me. Oh, it's making a liar out of me. There we go. I have to work with some distance stuff for the proximity. So anyway, some more artwork I need to do here. You'll be in an arena that's themed after the zone you're in, and this is where the turn-based action takes place. Also, again, remember, this character model is not the model for the game. I did character modeling last week for our main character, but I just haven't implemented them yet. For the purposes of the demo, we're going to have the action represented by an animated storyboard, because we are out of the time and money to fully develop the system. And so for presentation purposes, again, we have a competition coming up that I'm showing it off on June 22nd, and then we have a meeting with the developer in Southern California in July. So this will be represented by an animated storyboard. For now, I have the win button scripted in, so let's just win. We won, the enemy disappeared, leaving loot behind. We can get information about the loot, or we can just take it. Now watch the items read out down here as I take the items. These are all the same type of item. They're all pages from Treasure Island, and I just collected 3. These integers and the items, it's in an array called items. They correlate to a little database of items I created. So then in the game you would be able to, again, I don't really have collisions set up on this environment yet either. There will be a bridge over here. You can cross the bridge and exit, and that will take you to the other side of the river, and then you'll go back to the Overworld map on the opposite side of the river and be able to progress with the game. So you'll see what we do is we kind of we funnel you into the zones. To go through the overworld and progress, you have to go through zones. So you have to go through certain challenges to progress. Exit the zone. And there we go. There's a lot of artwork still to be done. I need to script up the turning in of quests and whatnot. Oh, I wanted to show off my water. My water is... I still need to work on it for the ocean, but let me go back into this environment real quick. Alright, let's go look at the river over here so I can show off my water I'm working on. Over this way. So the artistic style we're taking is a very storybook approach. It's very like pop-up storybook. So there's our water. And it's actually not too bad, so I just need to adjust it for different scenarios. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Thanks for working with me today. I'm going to make a highlight out of this last clip. Again, please follow me if you like what you see. I am streaming my game development on Fridays from 9 to 5, and then I am on periodically throughout the week, but Fridays is kind of a safe bet that I'll be here. So thanks for watching, and let's all get off work and go enjoy our Fridays. All right.